The Summit of the Americas is being hosted by the U.S. in Los Angeles, in the absence of several Latin American leaders. Leaders of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras and El Salvador boycotted the meeting, and those of Cuba, Venezuela and Nicaragua were excluded by Washington. A U.S. expert says the summit was a failure before it started.
I think nothing will come out of it of any substance. I think it was a failure before it started because major countries decided not to come. I think it's a joke. I think it exposes the fact that the emperor has no clothes. The U.S. is going to go home with nothing. For Mexico not to come is huge, obviously. Mexico borders the United States. It's a huge trading partner with the United States. It's a very important country in the hemisphere. For Mexico to have an empty seat at the summit just says volumes. The U.S. has done this sort of thing for years. The U.S. tries to punish countries like Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba that try to go their own way economically, right? That try to use their own resources for their own people's needs instead of allowing them to just be exploited by U.S. companies. The U.S. talks about freedom, independence, yet it doesn't honor those things, right, for other people. The U.S. just has never accepted other countries' independence, and it still doesn't. It doesn't treat any country as an equal, not even its allies, right? I mean, let's face it. Look at what they're doing to Europe right now. I mean, forcing them to give up Russian gas and oil is going to destroy their economy. And I'd say the U.S. doesn't care, but it's even worse than that. I think that was actually one of the intended goals of the sanctions. The truth is the U.S. influence has been declining for a long time. The only way it's maintained its influence is by sheer brute force. And that's true now pretty much throughout the world. All it has is brute force. And that's not working because you can't control everyone all at once. I think the U.S. will continue to find its influence waning in Latin America. The irony is the U.S. is isolating itself. That's what it comes down to, right? The countries of the world are saying, look, we're sick of this. We're sick of you telling us who we can talk to, who we can be friends with, what kind of economy we can have. I don't think the U.S. has learned its lesson yet, but I think it's going to learn its lesson very soon, that it just can't go around bullying everyone and succeeding.